gonna make crab cakes.
Yes! Crab cakes!
Lump crab meat in there. Oh. I'm Dave. You're watching Dave's Taste Buds, and welcome back. I got another great episode for you today. We're gonna make crab cakes. And when you think crab cakes, you don't think Massachusetts. Massachusetts, you think clams, lobsters, cod, haddock, striped bass, that kind of thing. Because we don't get the nice crabs like they get down in Maryland. But I do love myself a crab cake, so I'm gonna give you my recipe for crab cakes, so let's get into it. First thing we're gonna do, we're obviously gonna make the crab cakes, but you also wanna make a little dipping sauce, and that's gonna be a remoulade. And that's what we're gonna make first, so we can set that aside so that can just chill while we put our crab cakes together. Remoulade, easy, delicious. It's not tartar sauce. Dear Lord, do not refer to remoulade as tartar sauce. It's not the same thing. It's got a couple similar ingredients, but it is not the same thing.
Ain't the same ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't even the same sport.
Starts off with mayonnaise. Half a cup. Now, mayonnaise can vary. I'm using Duke's mayonnaise today. We don't even get Duke's mayonnaise up here in Massachusetts, but I was told it's delicious. And the only reason I have this is because my family and I happened to be down in Walt Disney World during Hurricane Milton, and everything was gonna be shut down. Hurricane was gonna roll right over us. We were staying in one of the Walt Disney World resorts. We were staying at Old Key West. We went down to the gift shop to try to grab whatever they had left of supplies, and they carried this Duke's mayonnaise, and I paid, can you see that? $5.49 for this little 8-ounce container of mayonnaise. So I figured if I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna make something nice with it, and I'm gonna make my crab cakes with it. So get yourself a good mayonnaise. Do not put Miracle Whip in this. Hellman's passable. We got Cane's up here, which is okay, but we're gonna try this Duke's. 1/4 cup Sweet Relish, 1/4 cup ketchup going in. Now, there's a bunch of different mustard you can use. There's like a Creole mustard I've heard that's really good. We don't have that up here either. So I got this Grey Poupon. We're gonna do a couple of tablespoons of that. Set that aside. Another thing we don't use up here much, Old Bay Seasoning. We don't use it as much as we should. It's delicious. Look it up. I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons, or teaspoons, a couple of teaspoons in there. All right. And that's it. We got all our ingredients. We're gonna give this a healthy whisk. And that is your remoulade. What did I do with that extra spoon? Oh, I used it in there. We're gonna taste it, right? Delicious. I'm gonna pop this into the fridge, put it in a different vessel, pop it in the fridge. We'll break it back out later. Give me a second, I'll get things set up. We'll make those crab cakes. So sit tight, like, subscribe. Be back in a second. Okay, so before we start, I just figured kind of like for a comparison, I wanted to check these out. I bought these frozen crab cakes in the supermarket. So I just want to try to compare them to ours side by side. Oh my God, you open it and they're not even in plastic. They're just literally frozen. Can you see that? So I'm gonna throw these in the oven now and see. I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of ungodly, weird ingredients. It's not gonna tell you where the crab came from. Succulent crab cakes made in the USA, ready in minutes. That's what you want. You want a crab cake that's ready in minutes. Oven at 375, 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. All right. I'm gonna pop these in just for yucks. We'll give them time. Meanwhile, we're gonna make our crab cakes. Again, we're gonna start off with our mayonnaise. That's going in. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire Sauce. Hot sauce. I'm gonna get a juice from a lemon. I'm just gonna take a couple of the cheeks. I'm just gonna put a little lemon juice in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lemon juice all over my hands. Dijon mustard. I like to pre-portion all this stuff out ahead of time, but then, I don't know, sometimes it's a pain. Little sweet relish. All of the amounts are in the description below. But I mean, quite frankly, I mean, make it how you like it. I mean, just look at it. Probably half a cup mayonnaise, 2 teaspoons of that, teaspoon of that, two of that. A little more Old Bay. I'm gonna get this in there. We're gonna incorporate this. We're gonna give it a little bit of a taste. Make sure it's kind of where we want. Ooh, lemony. Once we get it like that, what did I do? What did I do with my whisk? Put that there for now. Because now that we've tasted it, we've got it kind of where we want. We're gonna whisk in an egg. It's gonna be our binder. Something's gonna hold this together, right? Once we got that in there, this is a 1 sleeve of Ritz crackers. I like them to have a little consistency so I don't mash these things up into oblivion. I kind of leave it with a little bit of crunch to it, and I just prefer to use these over saltines. I know saltines, you know, a lot of people like to use that too, but I like the butteriness from the Ritz crackers, so that's what I use. Put that in there. I'm gonna kind of gently fold that in. So this is basically gonna be our crab cake mix. So I guess, I mean, at this point, if you wanted to make shrimp cakes or some kind of whitefish cake or any kind of cake, you could just use this. There we go. Now, star of the show, crab meat. There's all kinds. There's anything, I saw it in the fish market for, you know, lump crab meat. It was like $27 a pound or something like that. In the supermarket, in their fish department, it was like anywhere between $18 and $19 a pound. There was cans that range from all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to kind of show you the difference. As it turns out, and I'm just, you know, not really cheaping out here, but I just want to scale it back a little bit. Bumblebee makes this white crab meat, which if you look at it is really just a kind of a shredded down crab meat. It's probably all that stuff that gets jammed in the top of the shell and all that kind of stuff. Then they also make a lump crab meat. So this can was like $4, this can was like $8, something like that. And you can tell, this is just your lump crab. It's not, you know, is it as good as if it was fresh off the boat? No, but it's gonna do for us for today. So we're gonna get that crab meat in there. We're gonna get this wet. And I only did both of these just to try to show you the difference. Typically I would just stick with your straight lump crab meat. And like I said, we're not big crab people up here in Massachusetts. So if you're watching this and you're in Maryland, Delaware, Jersey, somewhere that does, you know, crab cakes all the time, and you want to explain to me the difference and how all that happens, comment below, reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation. So as you see here, we don't want to smash what little lump crab meat we have in here. So we're just going to really gently kind of fold this together till you get it to where you want. Now looks pretty good. We got our mix, looking good. So I'm gonna try to form these into patties. I like a kind of a bigger patty, obviously. So I'm probably gonna try to get, I might get 6 out of here. I'll probably only get 4. Because then I'm gonna pop these into the fridge and I'm gonna let these, yeah. I'll make them nice before we do it. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry about that. Plus this way, they'll cool down. They'll come together a little bit quicker. There we go. Turns out 5. This one's gonna be kind of big. That is okay. So I'm just gonna pop these into the fridge and then, yeah, set up the next step. We'll get to frying these up. So sit tight. All right, we're back. It's been about half an hour. Those garbage crab cakes are almost done in the oven right now. These had time to get binded up a little bit more. Binding, that's kind of the word I was looking for half an hour ago. But they should be good to go. And I know that some people bake these in the oven. I like to shallow fry mine. I really want it to have that crisp. So we got our crab cakes. We're gonna throw in a tiny bit of butter. Maybe a little bit more. I'm gonna put in a little neutral oil so our butter doesn't burn. Put all that over there. Now I'm gonna hit these with a little bit more of the Old Bay before I put them in. Geez, doesn't really come out of this side that good. There we go. There we go. Get that sizzling nice and hot. And we are going to take one of our crab cakes. And we are going to, bind it up, come on. There we go. Plus I really like this because, I mean, you don't want them to have like that store-bought look. I mean, these are gonna have like rustic crab cakes. And like I said, this is how I make them. If you live down in the area and you make these all the time, I want to know how you make them. Do you put them in the oven? Do you fry them up like this? Give it a quick flip. Whoops. Could have let that bind up a little bit more. Looks good though. A little bit more Old Bay on the top. Now you notice my pan's really small. I'm just gonna get one done, just so, you know, we can get right to it. I will cook these off after the episode is done. And I'm gonna eat them, and I'm gonna enjoy them. And as you can see, they don't take long. You just want to cook off that egg so that they all bind together. I got a wire rack here, just because I'm going to slide it under there and let it cool. There you go, just brown it up a little bit. Oh, I'm going to lose that piece. So I'm gonna fry the rest of these up later on. Let's get this cleared up a little bit. Let's get it plated up, and we'll test it against that. So sit tight. All right, so everything's done. We have our store-bought frozen one. I mean, honestly, it's a little crisp. It looks good. Oliver's barking in the background. Oh, the male's here. Hold on.
5 minutes later.
Like I was saying, store-bought. And then we have the one I made. Looks a little bit more rustic. It's still crisp. It's got some nice color to it. I'm gonna put a little lemon juice on both. I got our remoulade. See what's going on in here. Yeah, they've added some red flakes of something, probably to make it look more like crab meat or tell you it's crab. Mushy, not a lot of flavor. Remoulade is good though. And ours, yeah, you can see. Ooh, it's still a little hot. Lump crab meat in there. Just to use my fingers, sorry. Oh. Texture's good, crisp on the outside, a little soft on the inside, but you get those clumps of lump crab in there. It's delicious. So, hands down, make it yourself. Oliver! So hands down, make it yourself. It's so much better. So please do me a favor, comment, like, subscribe, and when you're done doing all that, go cook something.